Guys, what's going on? Somer del Piso back once again with another video. What we're doing today, right, is we're gonna talk some Buddhism. I know you guys asked for me to do Orthodox Christianity. You asked me to do the Quran. These books are coming, I promise, but I just like Buddhism so much because it just touches upon the divine, the singular truth so well and in such a descriptive way. Today, we're going to do some analysis on the Dhammapada. The Dhammapada, think of it as the Proverbs of Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism. It's part of the Pali Canon. It's Buddha basically talking about various aspects of truth and how a person should conduct his or herself in the modern world, in the physical reality. Let's get right into it, man. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get right into this analysis now, right? Let's do it. So we're gonna go through myriad chapters, the first of which we're gonna talk about the pairs. A lot of these titles are sort of cryptically written until we've read it, and then we sort of understand why Buddha has labeled the title as it is, right? So the pairs, let's get right into it. Maybe they're talking about duality, if we're just talking, just a singular primary analysis without having read the chapter. Let's check it out. What does he say? Mind precedes all mental states. Naturally, you cannot have any mental state that's contained within the respiratory system or within the circulatory system. It's just not possible. Everything comes from the nervous system, which has in its mothership, right, in the throne of it, the brain, the mind. We know this. Thanks a lot for sort of telling us what we know, but we are in a society where the obvious needs to be restated myriad times for people to actually understand what the heck is going on, or, oh, they shouldn't really do that. Mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind wrought. If with an impure mind a person speaks or acts, suffering follows him like the wheel that follows the foot of an ox. So naturally, right, it is basically talking about cause and effect, or karma, right, which Buddha loves to espouse in all of his treatises, right? If you do something, right, you are opening the vibration for that, the polar opposite of that thing to happen to you. It is only natural. Therefore, if you act out in anger, say for instance, right, someone took your belongings from you. If you lash out in anger at that person to get your thing back, right, of course that is some sort of divine judgment enacted through you as a vessel upon the person that's perpetuated the crime in the first place, right? But as a result, that karma is transferred, the cause and effect, consequence is transferred onto you. So you must pay too, which is why we have Jesus saying, if someone strikes your cheek, let them strike the other cheek also. So you can clear yourself from that karmic vibration completely. Hell, this is easy stuff. This is logic, guys. Common sense. Look at something, try not, if someone hits you, let them hit you again so you can clear your karma, because this stuff is real. At the end, there's an accumulation of this stuff and you'll get punished by the aggregate sum of your deeds. I gotta restate this because it seems like people are not objectively looking at their lives and the reason why things happen in their lives. Let's keep going, man. But mind precedes all mental states. Thank you for reiterating that, my Buddha. Mind is their chief. They are all mind wrought. If with a pure mind a person speaks or acts, happiness follows them like the never departing shadow, right? Imagine, like, it's almost as if you do something kind and compassionate, right? He's basically saying that you have no choice but to have kindness and benevolence follow you all the days of your life. People say that New York, for example, New York is like a society full of dangers, traps, pitfalls, of course, career-wise, spiritual-wise, emotional-wise, mental-wise. Everything that a city could sort of offer you negatively, New York will have it because it's a city. But however, if you are someone that is completely compassionate, is suffering, right, generally, because, you are dealing with individuals that are generally negative, and you are not seeking to have revenge on those individuals, whether it be in micro actions or in your thoughts, there is no way that the death of New York can touch you. It's not possible. You will be guided like the prophets in all the religious texts. My experience in New York has been completely solid. Granted, we've had negative people, we've had little angry people, because it's so easy to be angry instead of actually being introspective about your situation and trying to solve it. I've always sort of treated people regardless with kindness, whatever happens, because that's just what I've been taught to do. Thank goodness I had a great mother growing up that taught me that, being polite is just the way to go. I have never had a situation where my stuff, I was bereft of my belongings, or someone came up to me and jostled me, or someone sort of tapped me on the shoulder. Boom, quick assault. That never happened because I am not in that vibrational tunnel. It cannot happen. Granted, I do not want to test the powers but I'm basically trying to succinctly explain a situation of metaphysics, right? If you do good, if you are compassionate, there is no way the second death of this world can touch you. It's not possible. It can't happen. It's just not possible. But you have to hold the line, which is the difficult part. Easy, we only have X amount. Humans are living up to like 80 years, right, in this society. All you gotta do is just hold the line for 80 years, be thoughtful, be thankful, and be compassionate. Don't mess with, the bad stuff, and you'll be all right. Let's continue. He abused me. He struck. Look, I only read a little bit of this. Come on, because essentially they're all saying the same thing. All of the texts, the self-help books, they're all saying the same thing. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who harbor such thoughts do not still their hatred. That means they're falling into the things. I need to buy things to improve my standing in the world so I don't have to be struck or abused or robbed. Silly ways of thinking. It doesn't matter. This stuff does not matter. I'm telling you. Be positive. Be on semen retention as well. It helps immensely with sort of understanding and analyzing what is going on in your midst. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who do not harbor such thoughts still their hatred. Easy. Stop being negative. Everyone is taken in this world by, I got to get my get backs. I have to take revenge because this person has done bad to me. And it's silly. We're going to live in a cyclical paradigm in which no one escapes and no one actually ascends. And our cultures are just going to be sort of crafted around the little nuances of following that type of behavior. It is. Common sense, common sense. Hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. Hello? Look at Naruto. Look at all those goddamn animes, all these movies, all literature. There is no way by hating someone more than they hated you will hatred be solved. You have to be peaceful. You have to be calm. Harbor a vibration of compassion. It's easy. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This is a law eternal. Common sense. No one gets it though, because they are all emotional, because they perhaps are not following divine exercises that are meant to ascend men from the planes and the consequences of the things of the lower realms. Semen retention. Let's come on, man. There are those who do not realize that one day we all must die, but those who do realize this settle their quarrels. Easy. Just as a storm throws down a weak tree, so does Mara overpower the man who lives for the pursuit of pleasures, who is uncontrolled in his senses, immoderate in eating, indolent and dissipated. Oh my God, guys. Now we get into the crux of what Buddha is talking about in this particular situation here. Mara, of course, is not like some literal dark entity. Perhaps he is, that exists on a higher vibration, right? But what Mara is essentially is just the embodiment of evil, the manifestation of dark thoughts. This person makes me uncomfortable. I need to get all the money in the world so I can make other people uncomfortable so I never feel uncomfortable. I need to consistently fulfill my sexual desire because that's just what we're supposed to do. This is what I learned in kindergarten. This is Mara. Mara is not some corporeal entity. What he's saying is that everyone generally is, it depends. You see people walk down, they have their various desires, they have their various wants and whatnot, their various opinions, right? And based on how they look like, we assume that they're not channeling this dark entity, Mara. But in their actions, if you are harming someone else, if you are making someone destitute on purpose, if you are fulfilling your sexual desires without self-control, Mara got you. It's a wrap. And what that enacts and what that perpetuates in this world is what I mentioned earlier. Cyclical, perpetual system of just destruction and basest desires and the fulfillments thereof, and the nuances that sort of spill off from these things that come into this life that people follow, that's called contemporary culture. Buddha also says that because you are not controlled, because you are not still, Mara automatically has his hands on you. His, of course, right? This is just the way things are. Just as a storm cannot prevail against a rocky mountain, so Mara can never overpower the man who lives meditating on the impurities, who is controlled in his senses, moderate in eating, and filled with faith and earnest effort. I'm going to break this down right now, right? So imagine you're controlled in your senses. What does that mean? Oh, you're not sort of influenced by marketers and their attempts to generate a purchase out of you. You see maybe beautiful, if you're a straight heterosexual man. I can't say that too loud or else, you know. If you are a straight man and you see beautiful women around you, you are not completely enveloped and automatically drawn to try to, I guess, speak to that woman in a harassing way. If you're an individual that sort of understands that, hey, fast food is not the best thing to eat because it's completely processed and filled with sodium and sugars that are completely horrible for the body and will enact stress upon the adrenal glands and the various systems in the body, which will stop me from being able to function normally in this day and age. If you are an individual that understands that, right, and you encompass your control over those facets, you're good. What can Mara do to you? There's nothing that can be done. You are able to take on more than you're supposed to, fulfilling that karmic vibration to cancel out your negative karma and cause and effects. It's just obvious, guys. Be able to have the strength to take on more than you can in order to try to save the world a little bit, right? Sort of balance out their karmic debt with your good actions. You're almost like Jesus Christ, right? Which is what he was positing in the first place. We got to take on the sacrifice. Whoever being depraved, devoid of self-control and truthfulness, should don the monk's yellow robe. He surely is not worthy of the robe. And the vibration, the consequences of trying to pretend you're in a vibration that you are not, are going to come down swiftly, right? Like a ninja that has that's been paid to take out the shogun of the village. I don't know. I'm just making up a metaphor here, a little example. But we have, this guy's talking about individuals that try to pretend that they are something that they are not. They try to pass themselves off as some sort of worthy person, a model of success, right? Spiritual success. And they're not that type of person. They still feel anger. They still feel resentment. They want revenge, right? They want covetousness. They want all the things of the world, right? You're fake. You're a fraud. And the vibrational penalties will catch up to you sooner or later. But whoever is purged of depravity, well established in virtues, and filled with self-control and truthfulness, he indeed is worthy of the yellow robe. Okay. Listen, it's just a coincidence. Yellow, it happens to be my favorite color. I do like yellow. I do understand that there's a lot of negative qualities that come with yellow because it fills you with that feeling of pride, haughtiness, and sort of a feeling of trying to enact a dominion upon individuals of the world. An individual that's able to harness the vibration of yellow without succumbing to the negative effects of yellow is a truly enlightened individual indeed. Yellow is an extremely powerful color. It enhances the mental senses, the spiritual connections. It's not the reason why I wear it, of course. It's just, I just like it. It's a great color. And this guy is saying the same thing as well. If you are the individuals that have surely passed the tests of haughtiness and ego of the body, of the personality, you are definitely worthy to wear yellow, and worthy in the sense that you will not feel the negative effects of wearing yellow. We got a little metaphysical there, but trust me, try it out. Wear some yellow at your current state, see the effects that come about, and then go on with your life and trying to ascend, and then wear yellow at a later date. Trust me, you'll see the difference. Those who mistake the unessential to be essential and the essential to be unessential, dwelling in wrong thoughts, never arrive at the essential. What is the essential? Objectivity. We are swept by the mire and the phenomena of the weather conditions being on a terrestrial globe. Because we are in an area that sort of contains individuals that have their own personalities based on their various experiences being born in various places in the world, you are subject to all the possible variables of behavior in this terrestrial space, this physical dimension. The things that will happen around these things, right? The behaviors thereof, the actions thereof of the individuals that you share the place with, that's essential, it's objective. If you confuse like the unessential, which is lust being the truth, right? Or covetousness of items being the true way, or maybe I can't see the monad. I can't imagine Jesus living. Krishna, a blue man, that couldn't have existed. If you try to confuse that with being essential, then you've already lost sight of what possibly can be objective and essential. This is just the verdad. This is the truth. What needs to be understood, obviously, if you're dwelling in the wrong thoughts of what is essential and what is non-essential, you have to try to understand what is objective. You have to understand what is essential in life. I'll tell you what's essential. And you guys that have been following the channel for this long, you definitely know what's essential by looking at my videos. What is essential? The warm embrace of a woman because you are lonely, that is not essential. Rather, what is the opposite side? The warm embrace of semen retention after it has reinvigorated all of your creative senses and your intellectual faculties and your antennas so you could perceive the things of the higher realm, so you could bring those policies here. That is essential, that is necessary, and it is beautiful. These are the things that will guide you to the higher planes. And the way to get there, as we know, is through these practices. Finding out and focusing what the heck is essential. Let's keep going. This is all common sense, guys. Anyone with a modicum of intellectualism could obviously deduce that we know how to get to the higher planes. We know how to power up. It's ease. This is ease. Let's get back into it, man. Okay, the opposite, of course, because there's dualities, the pairs. Now I'm understanding the reason behind the title. Those who know the essential to be essential and the essential to be unessential, dwelling in the right thoughts, do arrive at the essential, essentially, right? I mean, well, not essentially. You're going to go through a whole mire of obstacles and problems in the physical world, because the physical world supports the switching of the prioritization of the essential and the unessential. We know that. We think that celebrity relationships are the most important thing in the world, even though there is a myriad of countries that have, even though we are sharing the same globe as first world societies, that have an abundance, a glut of money to spend, right? They are still saving, they're hoarding that wealth to try to reinvigorate their various Western cultures and the people and behaviors therein, and leaving those various disparate countries to suffer on their own. This is just a reality. Just as rain breaks through an ill-thatched house, so passion penetrates an undeveloped mind. I'm going to tell you something. So passion, what is passion really, right? Passion sort of manifests itself in various ways. And most important, well, not most importantly, mainly passion manifests itself in the ways of sexual expression. It is due to sexual expression that has led to a lot, inadvertently, all of the dangers and negative consequences that have been here in this world, in this reality. Through the pursuit of passion, sexual pleasure, we are willing to strike down our fellow man, our brothers, our sisters, our friends, our confidants. We are willing to disrupt constructs and structures of government in order to be able to enjoy ourselves, envelop ourselves in passion. What the situation is with passion is that it exists as a vibration. It's a very complex vibration that will attack you from myriad sides. You cannot exercise passion without having to first succumb to passion. That means there is a way to resist it. Not necessarily resisting because it's suppressing, but you are able to channel it. Transmutation. The same energy that has created Alexander McQueen's crazy haute couture fashion shows when he was around is the same energy that drives the poor, destitute old man to the red light district to get his next fix. It is the same source. What needs to be done is a perfect transmutation. Understand the ways that passion is entering your body and then transmute it, sorry. That's the way. Do not listen to these freaks that try to bring out all this money, these cars, worldly successes, and they have not mastered themselves. This is nothing. This is silly. You will never get anywhere there, and then you are sort of confusing the essential with the unessential. Try to understand the myriad ways that passion enters your system, that enters your mind, and you are going to have true success. Believe me or not, this is just the way it goes. The evildoer grieves here and hereafter. He grieves in both the worlds. He laments and is afflicted, recollecting his own impure deeds. Because, listen, so what he's saying, the evildoer, is not someone that's going around with a blade in hand and sort of enacting his might and will upon the individuals of this world that he deems weak or unworthy or whatever crazy, wild, nonsensical reason why he should smite individuals. He's talking about the evildoer that sort of partakes in passion, that partakes in sexual expression without any sort of purpose, only for personal gratification. He's talking about the individuals that steal, all these simple, crazy, idiotic things that you would do, especially once understanding the karmic law, cause and effect. Don't commit any crimes. It must come back onto you. He's saying that because the evildoer maybe understands this karmic law and the laws of cause and effect, and still enacts evil, will suffer that karmic deed, and he suffers, oh, this sucks. And in the hereafter, God damn it, why does this keep happening to me? You have chosen your fate. You need to change your behavior. Be a bit more altruistic, right? Be altruistic without any reward. Trust me, you're gonna get what you're gonna get that positive reward. The doer of good rejoices here and hereafter. He rejoices in both the worlds. He rejoices and exults, recollecting his own pure deeds, because this dude was going around spreading joy and mirth and whatnot, even at the expense of his emotions. People generally do not like people that are good, objectively good. This is just the long, the tall, the short of it. And when you are going to continuously behave in such a fashion, for such a manner, where you're spreading joy, and you're going to be met with this opposition, I explained it earlier, you are going to question yourself. You're going to sort of think, why is it that I'm doing these things when I'm not really getting a reward, or generally people hate it? There are people that have all these riches, you know, they have really nice Loro Piana cashmere polos, right? But they hate what I'm doing. That means that what I'm doing is wrong, isn't it? The value of things in this world are only of this world and limited to this world. That stuff doesn't matter, right? I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Be smart. Be good. The evildoer suffers here and hereafter. He suffers in both worlds. The thought, evil have I done, torments him, and he suffers even more when gone to the realms of woe. What is a realm? In Buddhism, there are myriad realms. There are myriad planes of existence. We're not talking about places that you could physically traverse. It's not, you get on some Kingdom Hearts reference, you get on a gummy ship, and then you traverse into another world and you explore that realm. That's not how it works in Buddhism. Buddhism is talking, they're all metaphors that they're talking about. Mara doesn't exist physically. The daughters of Mara do not exist physically. They're all vibrations of thought. Therefore, the realms that Buddha is talking about are existences, they're vibrations of thought. The vibration of woe, what is that? It is when you are taken up in the world, you are seeking pleasure, you're receiving the penalty and the punishment of seeking that pleasure, and then you keep living on and on and on. That is hell. That is Sheol, the hell vibration, as I described earlier. We know this. This is our common sense. Since when have you seen one of the Asuras coming out and stomping down the streets, trying to consume people literally? These things don't exist. The Asuras, the Devas, they're all vibrations. Common sense. I'm getting tired of you guys. God damn it. The doer of good delights here and hereafter. He suffers in both. Oh no, he delights in both worlds. The thought, good have I done, delights him, and he delights even more when he has gone to the realms of bliss, of vibration, where the things of this world, you see chaos. What was it? It was talked about in the Bible. 100,000 fall on your left. Oh my goodness. You go to the right. 10,000 has fallen to your right. It's like you're in the middle of contention, of danger, but you will not be touched. That is the vibration of bliss. Everyone in this world subjects themselves to these horrible vibrations that destroy them. And they only continue it because this is what their parents have told them, i.e. starting families, having kids, having relationships, being tied to groups of individuals that have no concurrency with what you believe. You do these things, you are tying yourself to the world and the karmic consequences thereof, and you will suffer. Guys, separate yourselves. Travel. Learn something. Learn a language. Do some deadlifts. Who cares? Do not tie yourselves to the things of this world, and these things cannot touch you, I assure you, with all of my might. Let's keep going. Much though he recites the sacred text, but acts not accordingly, that heedless man is like a cowherd who only counts the cows of others. Whoa! He does not partake in the blessings of the holy life. Why do we care about what these people have? Just count about what you got. Count about how maybe in 3 months, if you continue the way, what you will have, right? Little though he recites the sacred text, but puts the teaching into practice, forsaking lust, hatred, and delusion with true wisdom and emancipated mind, clinging to nothing of this or any other world, he indeed partakes of the blessings of a holy life. That is the end of this first chapter, the pairs. What is this essentially saying, right? This is the end of the chapter. This is the end of my analysis. Let's bring it all full circle. Everything exists in dualities. Everything exists in pairs. I now understand it. The only way to sort of evade these deaths that happen when you partake in the vibrations of the world here is to understand exactly, karmically, what you are entering in with every single micro engagement in this reality. Therefore, you are sitting on the public transportation. You're a little tired, right? Your knees are buckling, right? Maybe because you were running excessively the day prior. You see, I don't know, an older person that's suffering as well with all their bags, right? But you don't really feel like getting off because maybe your stop is like 10 or 11 stops away. If you get up in the midst of your suffering and allow that person to sit without any sort of resentment or an acquiescing behavior of any sort, there it is. You are suffering, and that means the karma reward will be wonderful and glorious, right? Now, it don't necessarily happen as immediate as that, but this is essentially how it works. You must put yourself in the way of pain because this world primarily has agents thereof. Not talking about secret agent, not talking about agent Smiths. I'm talking about people that exist that have their own various lives and are not necessarily aware of the law. If you suffer for their sake not seeking any reward, you are going to be good in the worlds to come. This is just what naturally happens. Stay on semen retention. Stop suffering needlessly, right, for following lust, following aggression, wrath, passions, and transmute all of that energy into something creative, something physical, and you'll be all right. And with that being said, that's all I have to say today. If you guys enjoy that kind of content, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Don't ever let this place get you down. I'm telling you, this is an interesting place. The clouds are beautiful. The trees are pretty nice. We're losing a lot of them due to climate change and whatever's going on with the trapping of the noxious fumes in the ozone layer. The machinations of the individuals of this world, cars and buildings and whatnot, they are beautiful. But remember, they exist only to keep you focused on the things of the here. We're only going to be here temporarily. Like I said, we only live for X amount of years. Understand this totally and make the correct decision. Stop getting tied to things of this world. You may be from cultures that perpetuate this sort of belief system about families, about love, about kids, and physical love, by the way, hoarding wealth. And I'm here to tell you that you will never ascend if you focus on these things. Maybe I'm just parroting what I've been hearing from religious texts, but trust me, when you live this life, when you have foregone reward, when you are foregone lust, you see truth in its glorious light. It's not gonna be really glorious. It's a little blinding, actually, That's all I gotta say. Don't let this place get you down and stay radiant. I shall see you guys in the next analysis. Woo!